Okay, today we're going to talk about something really serious, but it's so important that we do. We're breaking down one of the most destructive substances out there, methamphetamine. Understanding what this stuff is and what it actually does to you isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely critical. So let's just dive right in.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at what methamphetamine even is. Then, we'll get into what it does to your brain. It's pretty wild. After that, we'll cover how it breaks down the body. Then, we'll zoom out and see how it can derail a whole life. And we're going to finish on the most important part, your future and your choice in all of this.
All right, first up, what is methamphetamine? To really get why it's so dangerous, you've got to know where it comes from. And here's the thing, this isn't some plant that grows out of the ground. It's not natural at all. It's literally a man-made poison cooked up in a lab.
So the official definition is that it's a powerful and highly addictive man-made stimulant, and its main target, your central nervous system. If you take away anything from this, remember those two words, powerful and highly addictive. That combination is exactly where the trap gets set. And just look at what goes into this stuff. This is what it's made from. We're talking about things you would never, ever dream of putting in your body. Battery acid, fertilizer, brake fluid, cleaning products. Seriously, this isn't just a drug. It's a straight-up toxic cocktail of poisons. You'll see it in a few different forms, usually as a white powder, maybe in pills, or as crystals. That's actually where the name crystal meth comes from. And it really doesn't matter how someone takes it, smoking, snorting, whatever. The danger level is exactly the same. It's all incredibly bad news.
Okay, so now we know what it's made of. Let's talk about what happens the second it gets into your system. Its first stop is the brain. And it's not just affecting the brain, it's a complete and dangerous hijack.
So here's how that hijack works. Meth basically storms into your brain and forces it to release this just massive, totally unnatural flood of a chemical called dopamine. Now, dopamine is your brain's feel-good chemical. You get a little bit of it when you eat your favorite food or listen to a great song or hang out with friends. It's a natural reward.
But what meth does, well, it's not a little bit, it's a tidal wave. We're talking about a pleasure signal that can be 10 times stronger than anything you could ever feel naturally. Think about that. 10 times. Your brain just isn't designed to handle that kind of shock. It's a complete system overload.
And that overload kicks off this really vicious three-step trap. First, there's this intense rush, insane energy, euphoria. But what goes up has to come down, right? So step 2 is a severe crash. The brain and body are just completely drained, totally depleted. And that crash feels so awful, so unbearable, that the brain literally starts screaming for more of the drug to make it stop. That's the third step, a powerful, desperate craving. That's the addiction cycle. And what's terrifying is that it can hook you after just one time.
So, that crazy cycle we just talked about, it doesn't stay in the brain. It wreaks havoc on your entire body. Let's get into the physical toll this stuff takes.
And this happens fast. We're talking short-term effects. Your body is just thrown into chaos. Your heart starts racing, blood pressure goes through the roof, you can overheat to dangerous levels. And that's not all. It can trigger intense anxiety, paranoia, you might start twitching or shaking uncontrollably. And the scariest part? All of this can happen the very first time someone tries it.
And if someone keeps using it, it gets so much worse. That constant stress on your heart can cause permanent damage. We're talking a massive increase in the risk for a stroke.
Then there's what's known as meth mouth. And no, this isn't just stained teeth. It's severe, super fast tooth decay and gum disease. The drug is acidic, it dries out your mouth, and it just destroys your teeth. The damage shows up on the outside too. People often get these awful, painful skin sores, sometimes from scratching, because they feel like things are crawling under their skin. And it can cause major hair loss because your body is basically being starved from the inside out. To put it all into perspective, just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got normal aging. It happens slowly, naturally over years. But on the other, that's what can happen after just 1 year on meth. The severe weight loss, the skin damage, it's like hitting the fast-forward button on your body's decay. It doesn't just age you, it ravages you.
And believe it or not, all that physical breakdown we just saw, that's only part of the story. From there, meth sets off this horrible domino effect that just starts knocking down every other part of a person's life.
Look at this. The drug just takes over. Your relationships with family, with friends, they start to fall apart. School, work, it's almost impossible to keep up.
Then comes the money problems, maybe legal trouble. It's not like it just hits one area of your life. It systematically takes everything apart, piece by piece.
So why? Why does everything fall apart? It goes back to the brain. The drug literally rewires it. After being slammed with that artificial flood of dopamine over and over, the brain just forgets how to make its own. It's like the natural on switch breaks, so simple joys don't feel good anymore. Eventually, you can't even feel normal without the drug.
And this is something you absolutely have to hear. Because of that insane high and that terrible crash, addiction to meth happens way, way faster than with most other drugs. That trap we talked about, it snaps shut, fast and hard.
Okay, I know that was a lot of really heavy, intense information. So let's shift gears now to the most important part of this whole conversation. You, your future, your choice, and how you can stay in control.
So it all comes down to this, right? Knowing everything we've just talked about, how do you protect your future? How do you make sure this never becomes your story?
Well, the best defense is having a plan. If you're ever in a situation where you feel pressured, the simplest and strongest thing you can do is just walk away. You don't need to explain. Just leave. Find an adult you trust, a parent, a teacher, anyone, and tell them what's going on. And maybe most importantly, choose your friends wisely. Hang out with people who have your back and support you in making good choices.
Let's wrap this up with the one thing I really want you to remember. Your brain is still growing and changing, and that makes it extra vulnerable to damage. Your future is so incredibly valuable. It's everything. And deciding to stay drug-free isn't about missing out on something. It's about empowerment. It's about making a choice to keep yourself safe, to keep yourself healthy, and most of all, to stay in complete control of your own life.